Hey everybody, this is Matt. I'm making a new Heroclix video, and this video is going to be a review of the rares from the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Heroclix set, Heroes in a Half Shell. So basically we're going to look at the pieces, and I'm going to talk about what special powers they have, and we're just going to enjoy them basically. So let's jump into it with some of the turtles. So let's start out with Leonardo. So like in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set, Donatello and Leonardo were super rares. But in this set, Donatello and Leonardo are rares. So that's kind of nice. They kind of flipped the rarities of them and made the other two that were rares in the first set super rares. So this is Donatello. Let me zoom in a bit. That's pretty good. Let's just look at his sculpt. Very cool looking sculpt. You can see from the back he is a 2011 comic series version. So that would be the IDW comic book series. Very cool looking sculpt. The blue is really dark. It's almost like a navy almost, or even almost purpley almost. And I don't know, that may be the color. No, well, it may be the color thing on my camera too, but he's 100 points. So each of the rare turtles are 100 points. So they're a little bit more expensive, but they have stuff going for them. Very cool, dynamic looking sculpt. Let's look at this card a little bit. So they have improved movement, elevated, and hindering. So they can move through elevated and hindering terrain without stopping. That's really nice, especially for elevated, because they're not flyers. So they could run up the side of a building, no issue, basically. They also have traded stealth and toughness. So that means, if they're in hindering terrain, which they can move through easily, they can just stay in there, and you won't be able to shoot them unless you ignore hindering terrain for lines of fire. Let's see, he has TMNT ally, animal martial artist. That's about normal. He has born to lead, groomed to succeed. Now this dude is probably the best leadership Leonardo of the bunch. And when I play leadership, I have so many issues trying to hit that trying to roll that 5 and 6. It just never happens for me. So he can use leadership. When he does, increase the result by 1 for each adjacent friendly character with the TMNT keyword. So if he's next to Raphael, that's a +1. So he would get leadership on a 4, 5, or 6, which turns a 1 and 3 into a 50-50. If there's another turtle next to him, he then gets it on a 3, 4, 5, or 6, which is a 66.6 chance of getting it. And if if 3 other turtles are next to him, well, let's say best case scenario, you're playing Leonardo with a group of, because you don't want to actually play the 2. Here's the thing with leadership. You can only leadership tokens off of pieces that are less point totals than you. So you don't want to play 100-point leadership with 100-point pieces, because you can't take a token off of them. So you want to play Leonardo, that he's 100 points. You want to play him with maybe the 75-point versions, the Chases, or the 60-point versions, the Nick Turtles, or even the 60-point versions, the commons from the Heroes in a Half Shell, the second set. Either way, so he could clear a token off anyone if he wanted to, But let's say you put him with all 4 commons. He's 100 points. The 4 commons would be 240 points. So it'd be 340 points. So you couldn't fit it on a 300-point team, but 400-point team maybe. Anyways, if you put him next to 4 other turtles, he would get leadership on a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Pretty much guaranteed leadership. That's a guaranteed token, action token you can remove from one of their pieces, one of your own friendly pieces each turn. That's really, really nice. That's really, really nice. He has some other powers. Let's look at his dial. Okay, so he starts out with charge. Then he gets sidestep. So he has some movement starting out. He has blades starting out. No special blades, sadly. He starts out with 18 defend. So he starts out with defend and ends with defend. And that's, I don't really like pieces who only have defend. Thankfully his trait gives him added toughness, or I probably would not play this piece. So he can share the 18, which is really nice, and then also have toughness for himself. It really helps out when the people you're sharing the 18 with, if when they have energy shield deflection or combat reflexes, because they'll get the base 18 and then they'll bump up to 20. So that's really nice. And then he has the special leadership. And then if he takes a little bit of damage, he loses blades, but now he gains super senses, and now he gains exploit weakness. That's this down here. So he can charge and exploit weakness. His attack values are no joke. 11, 10, 11, 11, 10, 10. His defense values are no joke. I mean, he's a pretty decent piece. I mean, maybe not my favorite turtle piece, but he's pretty decent, and the sculpt is really nice. I really like the sculpt. It's very dynamic and stuff. Okay, let's move on to the next piece. I just took 7 minutes talking about a single piece. Woo! This video is going to take forever. Well, since we're talking about turtles, let's look at Donatello. This is the piece I was trying to borrow from a friend because I didn't own him yet. He's the only rare I'm not missing. Oh, we didn't even see if he had any range. Oh, he has 3 range. That's kind of nice. 3 range. No Indomitable, though. That's kind of disappointing. Donatello does not have Indomitable either, which, the 75-point chases from the first set have Indomitable. And I think that's one of the things that makes them really good, on top of being able to get Impervious if they're next to another turtle. So, I mean, I kind of like them a little bit better than the 100-point versions. And they get the extra move and attack if they hit somebody already, which is pretty killer. 3 range, 100 points. Let's see what he gets. I hope he gets some kind of giant reach or something. Let's look at his card. And of course I didn't prepare this ahead of time, so I have to fish through the cards. Again, he is 2011 comic series, so that's IDW. And he gets scientist keyword, which is kind of cool. About everything else is normal. He has the same traded stealth and toughness, same improved movement, elevated hindering. Ride the bow. Okay, when Donatello hits an opposing character after action is resolved, you may place that character within Donatello's range and line of fire. So I guess if he punches you, or no, I mean he could do 3 squares away and hit you. He could then move you. Well, I mean technically, if you were if you were right here, like 3 squares away, and he hit you, he could technically put you over here. Within his range, basically. So I mean, it's almost a possible 6 square move. You may place that character within Donatello's range and line of fire. Yeah, as long as he has line of fire in another direction, yeah, he could probably move you 3 squares. So that's kind of cool. That would definitely be useful, like if you have a bunch of pieces swarmed up behind Donatello. You have Donatello hit the dude, pull the guy back right in front of your group, and then you just swell at the dude. That could work really well. Then he has Keen Turtle Intellect. At the beginning of your turn, choose one. Outwit, Perplex, or Support. Donatello can use the chosen power until your next turn. That's killer. That's really good. Outwit is super good, especially in a turtle environment because there's not a lot of it. And Support, I mean, that's great too. I mean, it's all good. That's really nice. Let's look at his style. So he doesn't have charge. He has sidestep. He has the I'm gonna move you around attack ability, super senses, and then the utility. I can choose multiple utility power things. He gets leap climb afterwards. That's kind of iffy. He gets that quake. Yeah, he gets quake afterwards, which is, I mean, that's okay, I guess. Combat reflexes, then perplex, then outwit. Okay, so he stays utility-wise the entire game. That's pretty good. Super senses, combat reflexes, super senses. I mean, that's okay. I will say the problem with super senses is, especially on a piece like this, is there's so much precision strike out there that will just ignore the super senses, And that's kind of sad. It really hurts pieces like him and Spider-Man, who really rely on the super senses as their only real form of dodging attacks. He has the traded toughness, he does, but I mean, I don't know. Donatello 100 points. I don't know if I don't know how often that ride the bow would occur. I do think the Keen Turtle intellect is really nice, but I don't know if I'd pay 100 points for him. See, I mean, both of these turtles, I think they're interesting. I just don't know if I'd pay 100 points for them. In this day and age, when you can get so many things for 100 points, they just came out with the JSA. Yeah, I'm making this video a little late. They just came out with the JSA, and they're like 25 to 40 points each, and you're spending, almost 3 times that for a Donatello. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's move on to Splinter.
I've been practicing my Splinter voice all day. Leonardo, you must do.
It sounds awful, don't it? I'm just thinking to myself, like, in my own ear, it sounds okay, but when I listen back and hear it recorded, it's gonna sound freaking awful. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. So this dude is based off the original cartoon. If you don't know that's true or not, look at the back of the card. Based off the 1987 animated series. Yep, that's original cartoon. Very cool looking. Very cool looking. Definitely not old. I mean, we've seen some Splinters that look really old. This one's not old at all. He is 45 points. It's pretty efficient. Let's see if he has any specials or anything. TMNT ally, martial artist. Okay, no improved movement or any kind. Rat no more. Splinter can use shape change. If Splinter has been attacked, that opponent's force can't make attacks this turn. Holy crap! So it's like that episode, like, there's always an episode where Shredder beats up Splinter, and then the turtles grab Splinter and head back to their cave. The battle's over with. We gotta save Splinter, man. Splinter's hurt. We gotta save him. That's basically what it is. Like, it's like, this turn's over. Splinter's hurt. Basically. What's nice is if he's been attacked. It doesn't say he's been damaged. So, like, I mean, if he had an 18 defense, if they missed that 18 defense, he was still attacked, and they still can't make any attacks this turn. That's pretty nice. And, I mean, especially if you could, like, somehow boost that up to, like, a 19 or a 20. I don't know. I mean, they would just choose not to attack him, I guess. And then, let's look at his Doll. So he starts out with Stealth, gets charged later on. He starts out with, what is that? Incapacitated? Okay. Oh, what power does it say?
Use your strength against you.
Okay. That's maybe like if someone rushes at him, he trips them or something, incapacitates them. 18 willpower is really nice. That's a really nice defense power. And then that's his, like, shape change things. Oh, yeah, because he has shape change. That makes sense. So, like if they go to attack him and he rolls his shape change, they have no other targets. Right? 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 I don't know if that's how that works, but I think maybe it's supposed to. I don't know. His attack values are pretty low though. That's the only really downside to this dude. I think he's more of a decoy Splinter instead of like a offensive Splinter. I really hope the Nick Turtles Splinter that most likely we'll get in the third set. I really hope that one's like a really offensive Splinter. Because we've gotten some cheap Splinters that can do some okay things. I really want to see like a 50, 75 point Splinter that can just be super offensive. Kick your butt Splinter, He gets Quake, then he gets Blades. Charge Blades. Outwit is kind of nice, but again, I mean, 9 and 10 attack. That's really nice. And then I guess if they punch you off of that, you make a land. I mean, if they hit him off of that, he's most likely going to land on his super senses. Let's be real. That's no damage reducer, so if he gets hit off there, he probably bounces on his super senses, and then he loses his shape change. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd run him just for that ability. I mean, I think that ability is about the only good thing about him. I guess. I mean, he's 45 points. He's cheap. I guess he could be a probability control piece for a TMNT ally theme team. I don't know. He's okay. He's okay. Let's look at
a Mutanimal. We're gonna look at Slash.
I was so happy to get him in this set. I mean, we got a Slash in the last set, but not a Nick Turtle Slash, I will say there's a lot of extra detail in here they just did not paint. There's a lot of detail on him that they just did not paint. It's kind of hard to see and all this stuff, but it's still a very cool sculpt. Basically, in the Nick Turtles show, Raphael has a pet turtle, and that pet turtle gets exposed to mutagen at a certain point when everything's getting exposed to mutagen, basically, and he turns into Slash, and he's like, I'm gonna defeat criminals, and Raphael's like, I want to team up with you, but you're doing it the wrong way, and then Slash becomes a bad guy, then he becomes a good guy, then he joins the Mutanimals. But he's really, really cool. He's really, really cool. He's indomitable. That's nice. He's 100 points. So I'm thinking right off the bat, I may want to play him more than one of the other 100-point turtles. Zero range. I don't think Splinter had any range. No, Splinter had no range. Let's look at the things. He has Mutanimals, keyword, TMNT ally, TMNT villain, makes sense, and animal. He has improved movement hindering. He has a special movement / can use charge, and he can move through blocking. That's kind of cool. I don't know if that destroys it though. I think it just means he can move through blocking. Just you and me against the world. No, that's the wrong voice. I'm sorry. Slash can use close combat expert and empower. Okay, that's really nice. Unique modifier. Adjacent friendly characters named Raphael modify the attack and defense values by +1. So he modifies the attack and defense value of Raphael. Empower would modify the damage value. So other than speed value, you put a Raphael next to him, and he's pretty much +1 to all his stats, basically. And close combat expert. So you definitely want to run him with a really nice Raphael. Maybe even the Chase Raphael from the first set. I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's look at his dial. 100 points gets you a pretty tanky dial. That's the, what was it, charge? Charge, yeah. That's the charge, move through blocking. Then he has Quake. He has the close combat expert right here. So I probably wouldn't use the Quake. You cannot do charge and close combat expert. So you'll have to charge in, hit him. You don't want to do close combat expert. You'll just knock him away from you. I mean, Quake. You'll just knock him away from you. That's kind of dumb. But invulnerability's nice. Indomitable. So you can charge in, hit him for 3. Next turn, use close combat expert. Maybe hit him for 5. You can go 10 for 5 or 11 for 4 or even 12 for 3. I mean, his attack value kind of drops. Man, he has low attack values. That 8 attack? I mean, this is Slash, people. After this part of the dial, he kind of turns into a different beast. He has Battle Fury, so no more shape change for you. He gets better defense. That's nice. But it's attack. That 9. What are you going to hit with a 9? I mean, at least back here, he could boost it up with close combat expert. And he can right here, too. But, Flurry? That's nice. That makes up for it, kinda. I mean, Flurry for 3. Not horrible. I don't know, dude. I mean, oh, no. That's just, I thought that was traded close combat expert. No, it's just a special. Okay, well, I don't know. He's okay. He's okay. Maybe on a Mutanimal theme team, that'd be really, really cool and stuff. But, I don't know. I mean, he's okay. He's okay. I mean, I'm thinking that's been like the consistent trend right here. He's okay. They're okay. That piece is okay. Let's look at Karai. And this is, what version of Karai is this? This is the 1984 comic series. So this is the Mirage series comic book. It's a very original comic book series. I don't know if this one is his Shredder's daughter or Splinter's daughter or what. Oh, I don't know. I know in the Nick Turtles, Karai is Splinter's daughter, but Shredder raises her. 80 points. I've actually played with her a little bit. She's really good. 6 range. When you're doing turtle set stuff, 6 range is killer. No other special things. Let's look at her card. Foot Clan. That's a cool ability. I mean, it's a good guy that can be on a Foot Clan. So that's kind of cool, actually. Leonardo, my rival. When Karai is adjacent to a friendly character named Leonardo, modify their attack values by +1. Their attack values. So you could run her with like a 50-point Leonardo, and for 130 points, you could get 11 attack out of it. So that's not bad. She has a stop click at some point in her dial. Kurai can use Close Combat Expert. That's good. Once per game, give Kurai a free action to make a ranged attack. So she can only do it when she lands on the stop click. But once per game, you can give her a free action to make a ranged attack. If she hits, instead of normal damage, deal the hit target penetrating damage, equal to your attack total minus the target's defense value. So if she has a 10 attack and you roll 2 dice and you get an 8 on it, your attack total will be 18. If their defense value is a 16, you would have that free action to make a penetrating damaged ranged attack for 2 penetrating damage. I guess like if you roll a crit, and let's say she has a 10 attack, you roll a crit. Let's say best case scenario, she has 11 attack, you roll a crit. Now you roll 11. Let's not say a crit. So 11 plus 11 is a 22, and you're shooting somebody with a 16 defense. That means you would do 22 minus 16 is 6. You would do 6 penetrating damage to that character for free, for a free action. Then you could just attack them normally if you wanted to. But I mean, that's really best case scenario. I think for the most part, you may get 1 to 3 penetrating damage for free. Still, it's not bad. It's not bad. Let's look at her dial. So she starts out running shot, precision strike. There's that precision strike I was talking about. Precision strike. It's kind of hard to say. That just destroys anybody with super senses or mastermind or any of that kind of stuff. She has outwit anyways. This is a good combo because if they have like impervious or something, you can just outwit it. If they have super senses, you ignore it. It gets past a lot of different defense values, And then, because she's a ranged piece, having energy shield deflection is really smart. That means if they try to shoot you, you have a 19 defense, and that's really, really nice. Let's say they hit you really, really hard. This is her stop click right here. That means it automatically stops turning at this point. This power cannot be countered or ignored. So no outwit or pulse wave will get past this click. And basically, then she can do the free attack. The problem is, she does have an 18 toughness, which is nice. Means the odds of knocking her past it in the same turn that she landed on it is really low, or is lower. But still, if they knock her here and then knock her off of it, you don't even get that free attack, because you've already passed that click. Sadly. But her attack values are on the lower end over here, but she does have Close Combat Expert to make up for it. Over here, they're okay. 3 clicks of outwit, sparingly move and attack. This is her first 2 clicks are very strong. I'll give you that. Her last 4 clicks are kind of all over the place. The sidestep, the range is good with the sidestep. She can hide behind a wall, then sidestep around and shoot somebody. Next turn, or maybe she clears, and then the next turn she can shoot somebody, then then sidestep back behind the wall. So it works really, really well, actually. Again, though, ranged with a Close Combat Expert ain't gonna really work that well. I guess you're hoping somebody ran up and punched you and knocked you over here, then she could retaliate, Yeah. What's weird is, though, if they run over and punched her, and this allows her to use a free action to make a ranged attack, she wouldn't be able to do that if she was based, because she doesn't have sharpshooter. So I guess the idea is that if they run over and they punch you, you land on here. I guess you try to sidestep away and make the free ranged attack. If that doesn't work, you try to punch them. It gives you Close Combat Expert, maybe? Yeah, it gives you Close Combat Expert. So maybe you Close Combat Expert and try to KO them. And then if they're not next to you anymore, then you can use your once per game free ranged attack. I guess that's kind of how it works. It's still kind of situational. I don't know if it worked that often. Still, the first few clicks are really nice. I really like that about her. I've seen people play her. She's pretty good, honestly. Especially in a turtle type thing, she's pretty good. Okay, let's move on to... We're talking about the Foot Clan, right? Let's talk about Heroclix. Heroclix. Alonzi. Okay, It's a she, if you didn't know. Alopex is a she. Is that the eyes in a wrong place? I can't tell. But 50 points, very cheap. Alopex is a really good piece. Um, yeah, Kurai didn't have any improved movement or anything. Okay, 0 range. So this is more of a close combat piece, but it's still a very cheap piece. Foot Clan, nice keyword. TMNT Ally, nice. So we now have 2 TMNT Ally Foot Clan pieces. That's really nice. TMNT Villain, Animal, and Martial Artist. She has improved movement. Alopex can use sidestep and stealth. When Alopex attacks an opposing character that isn't the highest point value on its force, modify her attack value by +1. So she's kind of like the opposite of Nick Fury, basically. Where, like, if you're not the highest point character on the force, she gets +1 attack. So that's very useful. And sidestep and stealth, and she has improved movement hindering. So you can just sit her in hindering and they won't be able to shoot her. And she can sidestep. That's really nice. She has a special damage. When Alopex hits an opposing character with a close attack, and the damage dealt is reduced. So this is really good against like big tanky dudes. Modify that character's attack value by -2 until your next turn. So it has to be a close attack, and the damage has to be reduced. So even if it's just toughness, and it gets reduced by 1, modify the character's attack value by -2. So it basically means I hit you, and you probably won't be able to hit me back. Especially if she has combat reflexes, because if she has combat reflexes, let's say she has a 16 defense, and you try to hit her back, she'll bump up to an 18, and you'll go down into attack. Your attack value will go down by 2, while her defense value goes up by 2 for like a net 4. So if she has a 16 defense, she will technically have like a 20 defense, which is pretty insane. Let's look at her now. Oh look, combat reflexes. But you know what's weird though is she gets that later on when she doesn't have combat reflexes. What's with that? Why couldn't they put that together? Ugh. Okay. So this is her stealth sidestep if she hits you and you're not the highest point character, +1 attack. The Battle Fury means she's ignoring your shape change. Blades with a +1 attack for most pieces, I would say, unless it's a tentpole team and you only have like one dude on your team and he's like the highest piece on your team. Nice. I mean, ignoring shape change, can blades you for 1 billion damage maybe. You hit her off of this thing. Now she has charge, blades, and now if she hits you with a close attack, this is really nice, the charge and this part. If she hits you with a close attack, and the damage gets reduced in any way, it makes up for only having 2 damage and no blades on these last 2 clicks, because I mean, if you have invulnerability or impervious, she hits you for nothing. So basically, this power says, if it gets reduced to nothing, or even just gets reduced by anything, your attack value goes down by 2, which would basically make that a 19 and an 18 defense, basically, with your attack value going down by 2. I mean, I think for 50 points, you could do a lot worse. I actually really like this piece. I think she has Battle Fury, so you cannot carry her around, at least starting out. But you could TK her, and I think she's great for a TK piece. She gets in your face. She's irritating at every click on her dial. Her attack value doesn't go below a 10. Her defense value, combat reflexes will help her basically be a 19 and an 18 if she's close combat. Right here, your attack value goes down by 2. It's almost the same exact thing as combat reflexes. She's good. She's really good for 50 points. I really like Alopex. I would definitely play her in the future. Okay, we got 2 pieces left. Let's look at Zog. He's like one of the most expensive pieces in the set. This is a Triceraton. He is from space, and he belongs to the Triceraton race. And I really like the Triceratons. They showed up in the Nick Turtle cartoon. It's a really cool little race. They're almost like space police in a way, I guess. Kinda, yeah. only not like as good guys as like you would think a police group would be. I don't know really if they're space police. I don't know. I think they do more conquering than patrolling, you know. But cool little piece. The difference between his sculpt and the generic Triceratons is that the generic Triceratons don't have the battle damage on them, and they're holding a gun while he just has his fist up, you know. And I think the thing with Zog is he crash landed on Earth and he doesn't remember who he is, and Raphael finds him. It's like, hey dude, like you're my lackey, I'm your commander, and you know, let's go beat up some people, you know, and that's basically what happens. He has Indomitable, 5 range. Nice piece, nice piece. Let's look at his card. TMNT ally, Triceraton, and Soldier. So yeah.
The skull commands me.
When another friendly character KOs an opposing character, place a skull token on this card. Once per turn, you may remove a skull token to give Zog a move, close combat, or range combat attack or action as a free action with his speed and attack values modified by -1. So, okay, so you want to have, maybe he's more of a leader type piece and you want your other pieces to KO pieces, so you can put skull tokens on Zog so that you can remove one a turn and make free attacks basically. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I like that. That's his trait. No improved movement or you know, no improved anything. Special movement. Zog can use charge. When he does and begins the action adjacent to a friendly character named Raphael, modify his speed value by +3. Oh wow. Okay, so both Zog and was it Karai? No. That was Leonardo. Oh, it's Spike. Yeah. Both Zog and Spike get bonuses when they're next to Raphael. That's pretty cool. He can use charge. He starts out with charge. No, he gets this later on. Yeah, this is where it's kind of weird. You can't really tell, now that they moved all the special powers to the front, the very beginning, you can't tell in what order you get them. He actually starts out with running shot, then he bounces onto charge. Which is kind of weird because if he gets it too late in the game, I wonder if he's going to be standing next to Raphael the entire game. In the beginning of the game, he would, but as the longer the game goes on, the more chances Raphael's already run off and started fighting with somebody. So they may not be adjacent to each other, and that's kind of weird, you know? He has improved defense. He has a special defense power. Zog can use invulnerability and takes a maximum of 2 damage from attacks. So basically what that means, if someone hits him for 2 damage, the invulnerability will reduce it to 0. If someone hits him for 4 damage, the invulnerability will reduce it to 2, and he'll take a maximum of 2. If he gets hit for 6 damage, invulnerability will reduce it to 4, and then he'll take a maximum 2 of the 4 damage. So that's basically how it works. You would reduce it with invulnerability and then take a maximum of 2. So that's really nice. That's it's makes him, you know, because he's 150 points, he's not going to get one shot. No, he's just not, unless they pulse wave him or something. You know. Let's look at his style. So he has running shot, psychic blast, nice attack values, really nice defense values, decent damage values. I mean, these first 3 clicks are no joke. No joke whatsoever. I wish he had sharpshooter. If he had sharpshooter, then Raphael could charge up, hit somebody, and then Zog could running shot next to Raphael and still shoot the same person. Then they would still be next to each other. So if he did get hit onto here, then he'd have the improved +3 movement when he charges. Sadly, I just don't see how that's going to come into play that much. These first 3 clicks are killer. 5 range, it doesn't seem like much, but when you're playing against other turtle pieces, and most have 0 to 3 range, 5 range is nice. It is really nice. Good damage values. Psychic blast is gonna. I mean, he's like an anti-10-pole team. You bring in that Krang that has like impervious or something, he's gonna shoot it for 4 straight through and hurt it pretty bad, you know. And the next turn do the same exact thing. So I definitely like that ability of him. Then he gets charge, maybe improved movement, enhanced, increased speed charge if you're next to Raphael. I mean, if you're next to Raphael, that 7 would become a 4, and then you get the +3 movement, so you go back up to a 7. So that would be a 7 charge, which wouldn't be, that's actually great. But I mean, you have to be next to Raphael to do it. Raphael will probably be next to an opponent, next to an opposing piece. So what's the point of it? Why don't you just stand there and just punch whoever Raphael's punching? I don't know. I don't know. It's a really situational power. Blades is nice, but that 3 damage, I'd almost think I'd want to rather keep the 3 damage than risk rolling a 1 or a 2 with blades. Down here I can see when you get down to the 2 damage, yeah, you definitely want to do blades. He's very damage reducing. I mean, maximum 2 invulnerability, regular invulnerability, then toughness. It's going to take a lot to KO this dude. But the 9 attacks kind of worry me a little bit. He has no way to boost it up like with Close Combat Expert or anything. So, he's really relying on just being able to hit and roll that blades and deal some damage. I think he's really good. I mean, if he doesn't get hit off his first 3 clicks, he's golden. He just sits in the back, Psychic Blast for 4, Psychic Blast for 4, Psychic Blast for 4. He's golden at that. He's so worth the points at that point. But if he gets hit off that and gets hit onto the charge and stuff, it's a little bit harder to play with him. So, and the last piece we're going to look at, and this video is almost at 40 minutes, so I apologize. I don't know, it's 8 pieces, so that's about 5 minutes a piece. So, the last piece we're going to look at is Rat King. Very interesting sculpt. He's on his little throne. You can see a little rat right here. Very interesting sculpt. He almost looks like, that's his hair. I didn't even notice that was his hair, dude. He's like a mullet thing going on, dude. I was gonna say he looks like Harry Potter Voldemort, kinda. Don't he look kinda like Voldemort? He's very skinny. He has some kind of improved something and a trait. He's 100 points. Ooh, and he has Mystic's team ability. I run up against this dude. This dude is no joke, especially with Mystic's team ability. Let's look at his card. So he has improved movement hindering, so he's going to be sitting in hindering. TMNT villain, animal, deity, monster, mystical. Look at those keywords. You could fit them on so many theme teams. Rats everywhere! I am everywhere! Give Rat King a free action if he occupies hindering terrain. Place him in any other square of hindering terrain within 6 squares. So he has basically the Out of the Shadows ability that Batman from Justice League had. Really freaking nice. Really, really freaking nice. It's a free action. And if he occupies hindering terrain, which he has improved movement hindering terrain, so yeah, he's going to be occupying it most of the time. What's cool is also two combos here. If you place your objects well enough in the beginning of the game, he can use those as like skipping stones. So like choose a map that has a little bit of hindering, so you can go in that hindering, and then place your objects. Yeah, you can place 3 objects at the beginning of the game. Place them in a way that you could go from the map's hindering to an object's hindering, maybe to another object's hindering, to the map's hindering, and then to another object. You could get across the board and they wouldn't be able to shoot you at any point. Well, no. You have stealth? Yes, he has stealth. Okay, there you go. I mean, yeah. He can use stealth. He can use mind control as if he had a range value of 6. And when he does, he ignores everything. Improved targeting, elevated, so he can see through buildings. Hindering, he can see in stealth. Blocking, no hiding behind walls. And characters, no hiding behind characters. He can see through everything. I think the only thing he cannot see through, no. I don't think there's anything he cannot see through. I don't think there's anything he cannot see through. So he can use mind control if he had a 6 range and can see through everything. It's the freaking cosmic Spider-Man all over again, dude. I mean, he can't shoot you for 1 billion damage, but he can see through everything. It should just say, like, and his line of fire cannot be blocked. I mean, basically that's basically what it means, Unless there's some ability, like Nowhere from the first Turtle set, where it says lines of fire cannot be drawn to him. that would get past this, you know. But for the most part, he can just see through everything, which is really, really freaking nice. And he can mind control as he had a range of 6. Mind control has gone through a lot of changes, where mind control in the past used to be kind of weaker because you know, I think it was like for each 100 points you mind control, you took 1 penetrating or 1 unavoidable damage. So like, you know, in characters, point totals were higher in the past. So, you know, if you took over 2 pieces and their total was over 200 points, you take 2 unavoidable damage. It really hurt your dude. Now it's 150 points or higher, and the point totals are super low, especially in the turtle set. You know, I don't know how many lightning bolts he has. He only has 1 lightning bolt. He only has 1 lightning bolt. But basically, because it's 150 points or more, other than like Zog, he can mind control anybody and not take any unavoidable damage. And that's really, I mean, it just makes mind control a no-brainer. You know, I mean, and I hate to, I did not even try to make that pun. You know, I mean, it's good to use it. You know, you can mind control somebody's slash, take no unavoidable damage, and just really womp on them. I mean, the piece is already next to their other friendly pieces, so you just like you turn around and go like, "Hey guys, boom!" You know, I mean, seriously, that's exactly what you do. You know, and then he has Rat King can use perplex and probability control. That's. I mean, Donatello had to choose one. Rat King gets to have both, dude. That's just not fair. That's not fair. This Rat King is nutso. Free movement, 6 squares every single turn. He can see through everything, mind control with a range of 6, and perplex and probability control. I mean, thankfully, thank everybody, thank WizKids, he's not indomitable, or I would just be foaming at the mouth right now how overpowered this piece is. Especially in a turtles environment, this piece just causes havoc. So if he has poison. So if you do get actually next to him, I'm gonna base you. No, you're gonna be taking poison. Yes, you're gonna be taking poison damage because a lot of the pieces in the set don't have toughness or invulnerability or impervious. They may have just combat reflexes or super senses, you know. And poison goes straight through it, you know. And then 18. Look at this defense. 18, 18, 18, 18. With regeneration. Oh, you got through the 18. I'm going to regen back up. You got to get through the 18 again. Oh, this guy's so defensive. 11 attacks, really nice. Attack value doesn't go below a 10. That's nice. Mystic's team ability. This is his out of the shadow ability. But I mean, if you never hit him off the 18, I mean, whatever. And then he just phases away and then regenerates back up, you know? And I mean, he'll be stealth. No, he won't be stealthy anymore. He won't be stealthy anymore. No, he won't be stealthy anymore. But, you know, he'll have +1 defense if he's still in hindering. So it's an 18, and you got to get past the shape change. Okay. That's the prob and perplex. Then he gets regular outwit. The poison, I mean, outwit and poison is really nice because even if they have impervious, the beginning of the turn, you outwit their impervious, poison kicks in, they take 1 damage. And that's really nice, you know. I mean, this piece is just nuts. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you can get past that first half, I mean, it's manageable at this point. At this point, I would just leave him alone. There's no reason to take more Mystics damage. If you can click him right here, well, then he could maybe just push onto here and then regen back up. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I've never defeated this piece. I've run into it like twice and never defeated it. Really, what you need to do is you need a Superman that can see into him. Well, you just need somebody to run up and punch him for like 7 damage or something. Because that's the only freaking way you're answering that piece. That's the only freaking way you're answering that piece. Let me move my camera over here so you can kind of see some of these pieces. Let me see. I gotta adjust the zoom. Oh boy, those were the turtle pieces, everybody. These were all the rares from the Heroes in a Half Shell TMNT set. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. It's 45 minutes long. Wow, that's long. But I mean, again, I was covering 8 pieces. That's like 6 minutes a piece. It's okay. I really love the turtle set. We're gonna get another turtle set in like February or March, so that's cool. There's some con exclusive pieces to look out for. They got a Shredder, a black and white Shredder, and a black and white Casey Jones. They announced for 2017 there will be another Turtle Con exclusive piece, and that will be Pizza Face. And he looks like the version from the TMNT Nick Turtle cartoon show. So that's kind of cool. But I love the turtle pieces. I think they're going to get overshadowed pretty soon, though, by Marvel and DC sets, sadly. But I do love them. I'm so happy they came out. I think they're amazing. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you learned something new about some of these pieces. And I hope you have a great time playing Heroclix in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.